some of those things was just one date, one and done, so they say.
A one-hit wonder.
A one-hit wonder, one and done. Others, we established a dating relationship that lasted, a long time. But you know what happened? In the end, they all ended. Either ended. One and done or a lot, they all ended.
Girlfriend ends with end, E-N-D.
E-N-D, girl end. For a season, I dated a lot, for a short season. But at some point, I discovered that God cared about the romantic issues in our lives. Mm-hmm. He cared about what we did, and He wanted to be involved in my romantic quest. What did I do with this information? Just before now, okay, let me back up just a second. Now, just before pursuing a girl, I began to ask heaven, what about this girl?
Oh, ask first, move later.
Yeah, or if I liked a girl, what about her? Mm-hmm. I would ask God for His answer. And you know what? His answer was always no.
Oh, always no.
That's not what I wanted to hear. After some time, it became very frustrating. So God was saying no a lot. Didn't He care? I thought He did. But He was saying no. As I looked at my peers who jumped into relationships, left and right and left, at their own will, mind you, I became jealous. And finally, wisdom hit me. What did wisdom say? If God didn't care, if He wasn't in charge, He would never say no and just let me do what I wanted.
Oh, so when God says no, it means He cares.
It does.
It does.
And it didn't seem that way at first, but it does. He was directing my path because I was not leaning to my own understanding.
Yeah.
My own understanding said, man, He's crazy.
Forget this.
Thought He cared, and He's not delivering. All He does is say no. So that was good news. He didn't let me drift into whatever disaster that I could have made for myself. So that's what I did before.
Yeah.
Made disasters, and now it seems I would put that stuff together, wouldn't I? That Gary plus his own ways means disaster, and God was saying, no more disaster, dude.
Wow. That's a good way to think about that. So all those no's was really Him saying, no more disaster. Yep. Not no to you, no to the disaster. Ooh,
and he was also saying, I will only give you my best.
Yep.
Best, and when God answers, is always singular. It's a one-person deal.
Yeah.
Because best is only one. Mm-hmm. Best can't meet a boatload of women. And in time, I finally heard the answer, yes, and guess who that was?
Who was that?
Oh.
Hello.
Here she is. My takeaway from all this, and my nugget of wisdom for you, God will say no to you many times in order to say yes once.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in my own experience, I didn't have a dating life. Who am I kidding? I didn't have a dating life in high school. And I would run the roads. My friends were all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I was running around with a band and everybody's hooking up to the left and to the right. I just had this really weird conviction to wait for love. Imagine that. So I just couldn't participate in all of the antics happening around me. But when I did have an encounter, it was actually a sexual violation that led to a pregnancy, and my parents telling me the truth that abortion's murder, choose life. And so I did. And I became the mother of a beautiful little girl. And by that time, my convictions in Jesus, my convictions even for her own heart, I didn't want a bunch of dudes coming in and out of our home for her to get attached to, let alone myself. So I was asking God, is there a man for me? And He actually spoke a promise through my mom that there would be a man who hears God's voice. And after that, I probably had at least 2 guys for sure that I was doing what you did. I was asking first before I took any action. And some of them looked very hopeful, like this could really line up.
Keith Partridge.
Keith Partridge. No, that's like when I was 10. But he said no twice. And then there was this third guy. And this third guy wasn't too sure until much later after I was sure. But God told him exactly what he wanted to hear, God's voice. And that was Gary. He's the man who heard God's voice for me. And so there was my yes. I had a handful of no's and I only had one yes. And it was the right, most perfectly fitted one. Imagine that. So in our culture today, it is all about if you can believe it, you can achieve it. You can manifest it. If they're godly, go get them, right? Just make a good choice. But is it a fit choice? So all of that, all of those hot takes, all of those pieces of instruction lack intimacy. It's not about fitting you to the right person, letting God actually take the lead and fit you to the right person. That's what's missing in that kind of advice. So he's asking us to lean upon him, lean upon the beloved, let him reveal his desires that are far above our own and so much better for us. So practice thanking God for the no's, right?
Sure, that's a good idea.
Have a great week.
Goodbye.